Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. I want to go ahead and do a post-Ali autopsy on the Fab Fatties. I want to watch their most recent episode. They made it to 50. It's been a month. So I just want to see what was talked about. I want to see if there's any cracks. I'm inspired by Lisa. If you guys don't know Lisa King, I've been watching her autopsy on the Maria drama. So I want to do a little bit of my own investigation on Ali in this one. So let's go ahead and watch this. I don't know what this is about. The title wasn't really giving for me at all, so I wasn't interested in it, but now it's like, well, here we are. Here we are. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Fab Fatties. I'm Allie.
Alyssa. I'm Rebecca.
For the last time.
And today is our 50th episode, everybody. Woo!
Ew, I did not like that we did the same sound at like the same pitch.
That, you know what that tells me? We were woo girls back in the day. We were absolutely woo girls.
Oh my god. There's a shot. Hear me out. No. So
Before we get too into it, I wanted to tell you guys that I am perceiving the end of my middom. I have been feeling more confident lately. I had something kind of bad happen. It's nothing super dramatic, but I got a traffic ticket, which, whatever, it happens all the time to people. But something like that, I feel like in my typical MSP brain, it would have been extremely discouraging. But it happened and it was like barely anything. And I just moved on with my life, basically. And I'm like, okay, like that's giving confidence. So I was like, okay, I think this is starting to pass. And then the other thing I mentioned in a post, if you guys hadn't seen the post, I'm not able to put muscle on as fast anymore, which means that I'm not as overweight anymore. I don't have enough stores and I feel like I'm going to have to really concentrate just on my thighs, which I am a little bit frustrated because the muscle gain in my thighs is preventing me from going down a size, which I was having like a little bit of an MSP, mid-size princess moment tonight. But I was talking again to the Oracle of the Mids, Lexi, and she was like, no, like muscle strength is so much more important. Thigh strength is so much more important for longevity and blah, 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 and like actual health and all this stuff rather than just like being totally vain, basically, and just caring about being a medium. But it's like that's kind of the stuff that I'm thinking about. And I think that she's right. And I'm going to just continue to build my thighs and max out those machines and be done with that phase. And so after that, then it should start going faster because I'm going to just maintain my muscle everywhere else. For the most part, I'm going to finish out my lower back too. But yeah, basically like I'm in a transitionary period where I can tell it's passing because I'm just more confident. I just am. And I don't feel as insecure. I don't feel as like identity wounded, you know, like I feel like, no, this is who I am, bitch. Like that's kind of how I feel, which I'm like, that's not giving MSP. So I think it's passing, you know. So anyways, I just want to let you guys know that it is changing. I feel it dying within, finally. I do think some of it is physical, but I'll talk about that when I do a wrap-up video and stuff. But anyways, we're not there yet. I just had to get that out before we got too into this. It was on my mind. I need to tell y'all. Also, thank you so much for June. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and we made it. So let's go into this new month. We got new stuff coming.
Laughing because I was silent.
Oh, it's called a woo-woo.
The woo-woo!
Yeah, baby girl.
Oh my god,
I
did you
was
take
absolutely
woo-woo
a woo-woo
shots?
bitch.
Okay, so I learned
Yeah.
about this. I took a bartending class just to be like, ooh, I once learned how to bartend.
I was a bartender, so I can't wait to hear what this is.
Great. Well, and they give you like a book of like shots to learn, and one of them is called the woo woo, which is how I learned about it. And then every single time I'd be out with my friends, I'd be like, no, we need to take woo woos, and I would make everyone lift it up and go woo woo, and then hit the table and take
you have to.
It's cringy, but it's so funny.
Okay, excuse you. I was absolutely a woo-woo girl,
Oh my
and
gosh,
it's not cringy.
woo-woos
You
were
know
my
what?
favorite shots.
It's vodka, cranberry juice, and peach schnapps, and it's
The
fucking
fact that
delicious.
you remember that is crazy
I
because all I
was a
remember
bartender.
Okay, how are we reading Allie's emotions? What do you guys think so far? I feel like she's a little bit, she seems kind of tired to me. That's all I'm getting so far.
Yeah, but okay. All I remember was vodka and cranberry.
She
I
also
forgot
has
the peach schnapps.
elephant memory that she remembers everything.
That's
right?
true.
Yeah.
The
I
other
remember
two
being
seem
in,
normal.
High school and learning about buttery nipples, and of course, then it's like
I don't know what that is.
I would think
It's
a
also a
buttery
shot.
nipple.
No, I know that.
It's got
but like I don't know what it is.
butter schnapps. It's got that one. I don't remember. I didn't make that one as
some
much.
kind of what's the like coffee liqueur?
Kahlua
Kahlua. Yeah.
Or maybe it was not that.
or Bailey's.
Bailey's. I thought it was Bailey's and like butterscotch. It was very, very sweet,
Butter
creamy.
schnapps.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! The next time we go out, me and you were gonna take a woo woo shot.
Okay,
I mean,
I'll
of
woo
course,
with y'all.
You don't drink that much.
I really just got so offended to remember that I don't drink.
You got like a virgin woo woo.
You can do a
A
cranberry.
virgin woo woo.
Although actually yesterday we did like a little like we started the busy market season at work celebration, and Rashida at work, she got me a non-alcoholic bottle of this like sparkling, it was like elderberry and peach something. Oh my god, it was delicious. It
I
was
will
so
say
good.
that's the thing right now. Is like mixology, virgin
Yeah, we went
drinks
to a
is like
whole expo. Me and Allie did.
We
like,
did, yeah,
a couple
yeah.
months ago, a few months
Yeah.
ago, and every single vendor was a non-alcoholic. And then even when we went to Nibel's Alley Market things, Nibbles.
What did you say, Nibels? She
one
made
of
it
the-
fancy. That's
one
like
of the people
Target
there.
instead
One of
of
the people there did the non-alcoholic.
Oh yeah, they're
drinks.
called I think it's Sprit Social, and literally their whole thing is non-alcoholic.
Is that the new bar that opened up in Charlotte that's all virgin? Because I saw this on my Instagram like maybe 2 years ago, and I've been trying to get some friends to go with me to check it out. I have not friends at work, so
I was like, not me.
we should go.
I'm mostly just oh my god, her pause face. I'm mostly just looking at their dynamic right now. I'm not seeing that much other than they're all kind of talking over each other. I do feel like Alyssa's trying to interject a lot. She's being cut off a lot, which is, interesting, I guess.
But their whole thing is it's like a virgin bar. It's like a non-alcoholic
I
bar.
definitely, I know I've heard of it. I know that's not them. I think they just do pop-ups maybe, but it's super cute. And like, I just love, I love that people are getting more into that kind of stuff, you know?
Well, it's crazy you say that because another really big trend with that is wellness retreats. And it's interesting.
I'm like, ooh.
It's interesting. No, hear me out.
Isn't it interesting too how Ali is like, I don't drink for whatever reason, which I support somebody not drinking. But if somebody were to downsize, it's like a huge issue. Or it's like, it's so bizarre. I always try to tell you guys, like, people are really weird about like one issue a lot of the time. Because I know like a lot of you guys have been like, oh my gosh, like I know somebody in my life who has these toxic ritualistic issues, but like they're really great and they're really this and they're really that. Or even like when I covered that male YouTuber, I forgot his name, sorry. But when I covered him, so you guys are like, I really love his videos, and it's like, sure, it's not, I'm very focused on this channel, extremely focused. Like, we're here to get shit done. I just started to talk about how I'm getting towards the end of the mids. Like, we're starting to get out of it on the channel. I get shit done. So I focus on this issue entirely, basically. And I think it is important to acknowledge that although toxic ritualistic logic can bleed into other areas of life, that bleeding is never intentional. And it's also not typical of everything ever. It can just provide like an emotional intensity behind something that maybe wouldn't have been there otherwise, or maybe a little bit of black and white thinking, you know, that kind of stuff. Like if you look at Allie's like need to cut everybody out of her life, for example, that I think could be, you know, she has some other mental health issues, but the toxic ritualistic is definitely feeding into that intensity of those other issues. I'll put it to you that way, in my opinion. That is my opinion. I think it's a complicating factor for the issues, for like an issue that she has. I don't want to say just because, you know, it's not totally relevant, but I'm just trying to say, like, people can be smart and toxically ritualistic. People can be good people and toxically ritualistic. People can be loving and toxic ritualistic. Like, it doesn't make somebody a bad person. It makes somebody delusional about one aspect of life. And I think that that's important. And I want to point out that it is a prudent decision to not drink. It's healthy, it's wise. She may have her reasons. Maybe she has a past with alcohol, maybe not. Who knows? I don't really know. It doesn't really matter. Even if she just felt like not drinking just for her health or something, that's totally fine. What I want to say is she can look at that and see it rationally, but she can't look at downsizing and see it rationally. So while there can be bleeding of logic, it doesn't always happen. There can also be compartmentalization. And it's just something I wanted to point out because I find it fascinating to see from the outside looking in, and from somebody who, you know, I think I was smart about a lot of things back in my toxic ritualistic days, but I also was deeply delusional about this issue. So I think it's always important to remember the whole person. A person is not their mental illness, and this is a mental illness, and it's not their identity, and it's one that is very conflated with identity. So it's always important as an outsider to never reinforce that in somebody. So I try to do that when I talk about people. I try my best. Sometimes they don't show any other aspect of who they are, though, because it's so severe. But that is more, in my opinion, more of a humanizing moment for her. So let's continue.
Now,
I'm interested in a wellness retreat where we go and do shrooms.
that is also happening. And I mean like a very broad term of wellness. Like, of course, there's some like mainstream diet culture that fits in with that. But what they're finding is
This July, we're taking back diet culture. We're doing it. I'm taking it back. We're going to change it. We're changing terms again. I love to take their terms and change them to my purposes, and I want to do it with diet culture. That's my next one. So we're going to get on it. We're going to get on it. That might be the way that I launch the next era, which I don't know when exactly I'm going to do it, but it'll be probably, I would guess, between mid-July and mid-August at the latest. But we'll see. I might do mid-July. We'll see. We'll see if I can get everything ready. We will see. But anyways, I want to take back diet culture this month. I think regardless of if I launch there or not, I want to take back diet culture. So we're going to do that. We're going to do it.
People are more interested in going to a festival that has like cold plunges and like food and mixed drinks but non-alcoholic, and like people are more interested in, instead of like just getting shit-faced and like feeling like crap the next day. You know, I know there's a big meetup in Charlotte that they do like a wellness weekend where like people get together and they go for a walk, and then there's like all of these vendors or whatever. I don't know too much, but I do know that that's like a trend right now.
Anyway, you know what's trendy? Having 50 episodes. So today we're recording our 50th episode. This will be our 50th episode.
Did
So
you
we
guys
decided
ever notice how they never care at all about what Alyssa talks about? I notice it. I notice it all the time. It's kind of scarring.
We're doing a little friend catch up.
I'm sorry, what number is it?
50.
Okay, I wasn't
50.
Just wanted to clarify.
We're doing a
Your
little.
girl's been working.
Today's our 50th episode, and we thought it'd be a great idea to do a friend catch up, get caught up with the Fab Fatties, and we were actually doing a whole lot of yapping before this, and we were like super high energy, super pumped. We were super stoked to get here into the studio.
I do wonder. This is gonna sound really judgy, so okay, we'll take it out. I'm wondering if she's engaging in the behaviors because she seems really tired. And I remember that tiredness when I was really, I don't know how to word it, ingesting a lot. I wonder if that's part of why she's so tired. I wonder if they'll explain it. Because it kind of creates this, like, there's like a stupor, and people do it for, like, I don't want to talk about too much because I don't want it to be, like, triggering or whatever, but for those of you guys who haven't been a part of that world, it's kind of like it takes all your energy from you. So then you can't think about anything as much, or, like, you just get tired. Or like a little numb. And I used to, this is so bad to say, but I used to love that feeling. Again, I'm not going back, blah, blah, blah. I think it's horrible. Obviously, it was so unhealthy. Let's bring back the negativity. It was very unhealthy. I could feel it breaking me down as I did it. I was not okay. You know, obviously it took a lot to sustain. But you know, I see that feeling in her. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if she's doing the behaviors. I wonder if she's doing one of them. I wonder if she's doing the BING quite a bit. Because I recognize that slight tiredness. I don't know.
We got into the studio.
Oh, chaos ensued.
We started getting set up.
It's like a sedation.
And I
almost.
found...
It's kind of like that. And again, remember to think about the bad. There's a lot of bad. And I don't want to feel that way anymore. I like being just fully sober, basically. I enjoy that. I like being able to function or being able to think clearly. I like being able to have energy, for example. I like being able to get shit done. You know, it's like you give up a lot for that feeling, so don't chase it because it's not worth it. But yeah, I have to talk about it just for people who haven't felt that before. I see it in her. That's all I'm trying to say. But just remember, it breaks down your body. So, again, I have to do my non-reinforcement. It breaks you down. And you know you can feel that part of it too. Because I know I could. You can. So, anyways, on that dark note, let's continue.
This arrogant tripod that was just hanging out, and it was open, and I was like, this needs to be closed. And I picked it up, and I was like, huh.
That's not really what sound you
That's
made.
not what happened, because in my mind, that's what was going to happen. It was going to close, and we were going to go on about our day. I don't know if you can see the nice new accessory I have on my forehead, but that's not what happened. Instead of going like this, it went like this, and the very metal top of it hit me so hard in the head that I saw stars. And no, I wasn't looking in a mirror.
That was...
That's very Allie.
I didn't like it. But, I mean, it's on brand. But
No, I thought this girl never misses a punchline.
Ever.
no, this girl never missed a moment to hype herself up.
Even with a concussion, even with a possible concussion. So I'm feeling a
Okay.
little goose egg. That's definitely growing here. It is now doubled in size from the last time I touched it. But in other news, my makeup looks fucking fantastic today. So I love that for me. What's going on in your lives?
Well, I can say
So
really
she hit her
confidently right now
head?
that I keep being like this, and it's because
I wonder. I don't know.
Because I have a little pimple right here at the very top of my cheek, and I feel like I can see it out of my eye. At first I thought I had like a little hair there. No, it's this little tiny pimple, and I even put a little pimple patch on it last night, and it's still just hanging out and staring at me.
That bitch.
That's your update for today? You have a pimple on your cheek?
That's your update.
That's my first update for the day. So if anyone's watching and they see me doing this, it's because I'm literally checking out
She's
a pimple.
giving her pimple the stank eye. Also, Rebecca and Ellis are annoyed with me because I'm also snacking on a Pop-Tart because today was the day that I needed to be yelled at to eat. So I'm snacking on a Pop-Tart while we record.
Today's
I don't believe that. Sorry. That's bullshit. I feel like her saying that, it's like the lie, you know? I don't believe her for like literally. I literally was just telling you guys how I think it's the exact opposite. So I think what it was is she was probably feeling that sense of disgust. And her friends are like, no, don't feel disgusted. It's okay. Eat the Pop-Tart, which is very reinforcing again. I just have a very, very dark view of it. It's just horrible because I'm just so glad that I never had friends that were trying to like hold me down like that, you know. I really didn't. No. I didn't. I had to think about it and I'm like, no. Mm-mm. Even those that were also toxically ritualistic, they didn't really push that on me, you know what I mean? It wasn't bad enough. So I'm lucky. Because I think about that kind of stuff because it's like, gosh, like what if I did have friends like them? You know, would I be here? It's hard to... Ugh, it's scary.
episode is brought to you by Snow Country Outerwear. Snow Country Outerwear doesn't just fit your body, it fits your life. These plus-size rain jackets, size 1X to 6X, are packed with thoughtful features.
I'm
Adjustable
interested.
hoods, waists, and sleeves, double enclosures for extra warmth,
No.
beyond. Click the link in our bio to check them out.
What's your first update? It has to be about your face.
Does it?
No.
Well, it's actually funny because my skin actually has been breaking out so bad.
I can't tell.
I thought you were yelling at me because my mic was shaking, so I froze in fear.
I do not yell at them.
I
Nobody
froze in
was
fear.
yelling at you.
I froze in fear. I said, "Oh my god, it's shaking! It's shaking! It's shaking!" I didn't touch
Rebecca does yell at us and she hates
I
us
do not.
too.
Oh, okay. No, my skin actually has been breaking out. But no, it's much better today. It's doing good. So that's my update about my face, I guess.
That's good. I'm glad your skin's doing better.
Thank you. I don't really have any super fun updates. You guys, I feel like, have the fun updates. I'm learning sign language right now. Pretty hyped about that.
What made you want to learn sign language?
You know, so funny. So a few things. One, my dad started Duolingo to learn Italian, and he's on like day 400. I think he's on like almost 500 days or something.
Wow.
Which is crazy, and he's so proud of himself. Well, Billy started in the new year to learn German. So him and my dad are like Billy's been doing. I will tell you, German, not a romance language.
Oh no, girl. That's all in the back of the throat.
So I was talking with my sleep coach, and one of the things is staying out of bed until it's time for bed, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I know, all three of us. Who doesn't want a Herkle-Durkle?
I love a good Herkle-Durkle.
I be Herkling, I be Durkling.
I'm just Herkle-Durkling all day long.
All day long.
All day long.
Herkle-Durkle is good for the soul.
It is good for the soul.
Period.
It's good for the soul.
I don't
Well,
even know what
it
that
apparently is
means.
not good for my sleep. So,
Well, I hate that.
I know.
And that feels anti-sleep.
That is anti-Herkle-Durkle.
So, one of the things that me and my sleep coach really set, and what sucks is that it actually is working. Like, I wish it
I
wasn't.
hate that. I
I
fucking
know.
hate when a doctor's right.
I know. So, I do not get into bed now
It's
until
so
10.
funny too how they're like, they have to separate the downsizing, you know. It's so interesting to watch. It's like watching a mental dance, you know.
15. Not allowed to get into bed until 10:15 at night. That is hard, especially after you like work all day, you want to light a candle, you want to cozy on up.
I just am mentally clocking that if you're not in bed.
I can't relate. I'm about to sound really MSP, but I work really hard and I don't go to bed really until I'm going to bed. I'm busy. Busy little bee. I know I'm gonna, like, to me, I'm like, I know I need to rest a little bit more, but like, I don't like to. So I have the opposite issue. Like, I literally think about how I have to work tomorrow and I'm like, oh, that'll be kind of nice. Like, I like doing stuff. I don't like to sit. So I don't know. I feel like that's part of like being super morbidly obese as well, is like you want to just like, it's like having, you know how they say like being thin is like having another job or like having a part-time job or whatever the hell. I think Aubrey has said that before. Somebody said that. Being super morbidly obese is like having a job because it takes up all your time and energy, but it's really expensive too. So I don't know, because a lot of times now I think about how much like just literal vitality I have, or like how far I can push myself and all the things I can do that I could not do 2 years ago at all. And it's like, oh my gosh, like I don't know how the hell I did it. I don't know how I did anything, you know, or how did I accomplish anything? Like, especially over the past year, like seeing how much work it takes to make shit happen, or seeing how much work it takes to like do my best to get my activism off the ground, or like to start putting things into motion, doing research and all this type of stuff. It's like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot. I think about it, call me Charlie XCX, but I think about it all the time too, which luckily I have another job where I can think. I have my mind free. So I can think about it all the time and I can focus and stuff. And it's like, I just don't know how, I don't think I could live without being somewhat productive at this point. I just don't. Like I used to feel like, I don't know how somebody can get a dog. Like, oh my gosh, a dog is so much work. And now I'm like, gosh, you know, I think about it sometimes, you know, I'm not going to get one now because of my living situation and stuff, but it's like, I understand it. You know? And I think some of it is just that I'm healthier. You know, I just am. So I think it's like you're just busier. You're busier. And I got used to that. And I do feel like I need to rest more in the future. I need to. I think I need a little bit more balance. Some of my busyness is due to like low dopamine issues and stuff. And so I need to find balance again, but I just think about it and I'm like, gosh, like, I don't know. I can't relate. That's my whole point, is like, I can't relate. I can't relate to just laying in bed all day. Like, I just can't. And, you know, 2 years ago, I could. Like, I think at this point, I'll lay in bed like one day a month, maybe. But I'm busy. I'm a busy girly pop. And I think I've realized like that's just, it's part of my personality. That's something I learned in the mids, was it was like, I realized that it's not that everyone else is slow. It's that I'm fast. You know, it's kind of like a part of my bratness, but I'm fast. I'm quick. I move through life quickly. I'm a fast person. And I think that that's how my mom and my grandma are too. And I think as a part of the toxic ritualistic, we rejected that in ourselves. And I wonder if anybody else did. It's like, if you're a fast person, just be fast. It's okay. Be you. You know, and there are people who are slow and methodical, and I respect them. I do. But I'm fast. I'm more impulsive. You know, I'm like, I'm going to do daily in June. I'm going to decide this on the 1st. And then I just did it. you know? That's kind of how I am. And it's like, I think I used to feel ashamed of it or something, or I used to just be like, I don't want to be that way. Oh my gosh, I need to stay sedated. And it's like, fuck that. Fuck that. Be who you are. And for those of you guys who are, you know, and I know there are so many of you guys in the toxic ritualistic or trying to get out, clawing your way out. If you are concerned about identity, you have to get out, and you have to downsize and get and normalize, because you're not going to know who you are until you have. You're just not. You can't totally know. And it's like, I've rediscovered, because I was like this as a kid. I was fast. My mom always told me, like, you didn't walk anywhere, you ran. And that's how I am still. And it's like, I like that about myself. I do. I know that there's good and bad, and I try to balance out the bad. But it's like, I think the reason why I'm like, I think the mids are dying is because there's certain moments now where there's these qualities that I've discovered, especially through divorcing with fatness and this type of stuff. And it's like, I've discovered these things and I'm proud of them, or I'm happy about them. I don't feel ashamed, or I don't feel like, oh, I should be less of this, or oh this, or oh that. It's like, no, like, be in control. Like, don't be a huge bitch because somebody's in your way at the grocery store, or you know what I mean? Like, have some control. But also, like, you don't have to slow down because everyone else is slow. You can blast through them. You can blast through the aisles. You can do what you need to do. And sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, you know, but it's like, yeah, I'm on a mission. I'm busy, you know? And it's like, for my Astro Girly Pops, I have a strongly placed Mars, okay? I got some Mars energy in me, I do. Mars and Gemini, by the way, like Charlie XCX. I feel like Mars and Gemini is very brat, for the record. But anyways, we're done. Let's move on. Sorry.
Until 10:15.
They're boring me. They are kind of boring, but I don't know. It's interesting.
I expect my text messages to be answered.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding.
No, because it's so funny. I am not supposed to be on my phone past 8:30 p.m. That's early, too.
That is early.
I give myself until like 9:30, 10 o'clock sometimes, because it is hard to not pick up your phone.
Mm-hmm. My fucking head hurts,
Okay.
girl. I'm sorry.
And then I'm supposed to get out of bed by like 8. My alarm goes off at 8. I'm not supposed to be in bed longer than 30 minutes after my alarm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. But it's supposed to like compress the amount of time you spend in bed so that it like is like sleep time.
Mm-hmm.
So to help me actually like reset and like calm down at night and like not be processing the day, she recommended learning something at night. And I said, interesting. She was like, use your whatever brain power you have to learn something new so that you're not having to think about the email you didn't send today or the things on the to-do list or and I was like, dang, okay.
I like that.
So I started laying in bed at like 10:15. It's like my cutoff time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to think about anything else at 10:15. I sit down and I learn my sign language.
So show us something that you learned.
Oh.
Spell my name.
Oh. A-L-L-Y.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I know the alphabet.
I don't know yours.
Maybe she got stopped at the second L. That really kills me.
R-E-B. What did I just do for E? E-C-C-A.
By the way,
Anyways.
for our audio listeners, this
Yeah.
is not very thrilling. But I think this is tree. Don't come for me. I'm learning, okay? Think this is tree. Obviously, thank you. Hello was like, hello. And then I was learning, oh, you know what? I can't remember what that means.
I need you to know what my intrusive thoughts are thinking right now.
Which is?
I know what this means. I just need to, I need to
Anyways,
get them out.
I'm actually struggling to find
That was quite bratty. I have to give her that. It was brat. That was a brat move, Allie.
the free app. I was using one and it gave me free for the intro lessons and I loved it, and now it wants me to pay.
I think we know Allie's brat, though. I don't know about them, to be honest. You guys can let me know, but I don't know if they're demure. I feel like there are some people who are just not anything. I don't know. They're just kind of blah. Sorry. Gotta be real. If I don't know. If I had to choose, I would say Rebecca's probably the most demure. Because to me, she's like the least reactive. And then Allie, I don't know. Like, not giving anything. Give us nothing, queen. You guys can let me know your opinions.
And I'm like, I'm trying to have some financial due diligence.
I wonder if there's like a book available for your Kindle.
Here's the thing, sign language is like a visual.
Yeah. Isn't your Kindle visual?
There's movement to it, so I guess
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, my bad.
So like, there's like,
Yeah.
I'm guessing there is a book out
about
there
YouTube
that like
videos?
100%.
Yeah.
What I liked is that it was a lesson.
I gotcha.
Right? It was like formatted in a lesson, and I was like, oh, I did my lesson for today. Anyways,
I gotcha.
I'll keep looking and finding some stuff, but that has been, I have to say, I wish I knew that sooner. It's actually a game changer. Learn something at night. Weird, because you're like, oh, I want to do it. Try it for one night and see if you like it. I love it. And then I feel like accomplished. I'm like, I'm learning sign language.
I love that.
I am just too Slytherin for this. I'll put it to you that way. I just am. 1 second. I'm just like, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm focused on greatness. I'm too busy to learn something irrelevant. I'm too busy. I got shit to do. Busy. I'm way too Slytherin. Let me know too, for for my peeps, what do you think their houses would be? Let's have a little moment. I don't know enough about that system, but I'm curious as to what you guys think. I'm curious.
Interesting. See, then I'd be like, but anytime I'm in a lesson, will I start getting sleepy? But that's
Good.
what my brain.
Then turn it off and go to sleep.
I know.
I don't know about them being Slytherin. I think if any of them was, maybe Allie. There's like, she'd maybe have like a little bit of a touch of it. But I don't know, probably not. Probably not. Sorry. Focused on greatness. Sorry, I'm focused on greatness. Too busy. Too busy. That's so kind of douchey. Is that my new thin arc? My thin villain arc? Is I'm going to be a douchey and be like, I'm busy. I'm going to be one of those. You know, I used to like, I feel like I used to hate on people like that. And now I became one of them. It's like Whitney said, you know, Whitney, the YouTuber I covered, you live long enough to become the villain, you know? Anyways.
But like, if you're in a lesson during the day, like, will learning become something that if you're learning something, you get tired from it?
No, because that's not what actually makes me tired at the end of the night.
It just allows you to disconnect the thoughts of the anxiety thoughts.
Exactly.
Okay.
It helps me disconnect from the, I didn't do this today, or I'm still waiting on a response from this, or am I performing well enough at work? Am I doing enough to support the intrusive spiral thoughts?
Yeah.
You know, the ones that keep you up at night. I don't know about you, but like sometimes my insomnia is just my brain not turning off.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if you want to talk about this. We don't have to.
Let's
do
do
you
it.
want to talk about the fact that you are going to get a CPAP?
We totally can.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a life update. You haven't obviously gotten it yet.
Yeah,
so.
well, I mean,
But I'm wondering how you feel about it.
Yeah, you know, I am doing the sleep study.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see in our little reel that comes out, I made sure to take one video of like the ring on my finger, my finger's like glowing red at night. Some interesting things with the sleep study that we found. There are some nights where I think they call them apnea episodes, which is sleep apnea.
Yeah.
There are some nights where I'm like gasping for air and like not getting enough oxygen and everything. And then there's some nights where it doesn't happen. And it is actually really bizarre. There are some nights, one night was so high for me, it was like 20 an hour. And then most of my nights is like 5, which is the normal range, by the way.
She might have some hormonal issues, especially that combined with like insomnia and stuff like that. If it's fluctuating that much, I'm not a doctor, et cetera, but I would just think maybe certain nights, certain hormones are bad, or maybe her electrolytes are bad, vitamins are low, right? Like there's certain fluctuations. She could be more swollen some nights than others. Like I feel like there's a lot of reasons that could happen. If anyone knows, please comment. I appreciate it. But I definitely had some issues with it, but I wasn't insured at the time. So I had to do this like tower of pillows. But I'm also the type of person where like I wake up, basically. I'm a light sleeper. So I think for the most part I would wake up. But there's probably like partial apnea, like when I was SMO, because I would grind a lot. I grinded. So that sucked. And then I'd have nightmares and stuff. So I don't know if there'd be like partial some nights or whatever, but when it was bad or if I didn't adjust things right, I'd have to do like the tower of pillows. It was horrible. It was awful. Then I would have an episode. But last summer, I think I remember telling you guys, so the mattress I had when I was SMO, it was extremely dented where my ass was. And it was just really flat and stuff, but it worked for me until it didn't. Because when I got to just morbid, I started to kind of slide into like the pit of the bed. And it would cause me to be like this. And so then I was starting to have more episodes because I was like this. And so luckily at the time, my mom she was not happy with her mattress because it was too hard, basically. It was like a very hard mattress. And so she was like, I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm getting a new one. Because it can be tough. Like when you have like a firm mattress in your SMO, it's really hard to sleep on. It's painful. But I wasn't anymore. I was just Mo. And I was like, okay, like, let me try the new mattress. Or, like, let me try the mattress that you have now, the stiff one or the firm one. And so I slept on it and I had a sore back the first night, but I was totally fine. And it was much more supportive and I had much less apnea issues because I wasn't, like, sinking into it anymore. Because I had already, like, gotten rid of the tower of pillows for the most part. By that point, or I took steps down, and then very, very recently, like I'd say this year, I realized that my pillow was too thick, the one I was using, and it was causing me to clench my teeth a lot at night, because it's like the position, like it's like you're like this, and it was like stressful for my body to be in that position. And it's like, when do you lose weight or when do you downsize to a point that you need a new pillow? It's like you don't think about it. You know what I mean? It's something that just happens over a long time. And I could tell I was grinding. And so I switched out the pillow and it was fine. And it's like, oh yeah. So I guess my point is like, it's very obviously weight related. I don't really ever have an apnea moment anymore. I haven't in a very long time. It went away. But it was rough there for a while. Like 2021 was really rough. And it didn't start out that way. Like I was fine until 2021. And that's when I started having it really bad. But I did have some episodes in prior years because I'd have nights where like my throat would swell really bad. Like I had issues, you know. It was getting worse, and that started like in 2018 when I was in a really bad BINGE episode and I gained a lot. I started having issues, and then I had occasional issues in 2019, but I also was in the reductive side of things, so I had gone down quite a bit, and then I'd go back up, and then I'd go down. So it was just a lot. But yeah. Point is, weight is highly related. That's what I'm trying to say. And from my experience, it's very related. Very, very much so. And just, I don't have an issue anymore. I don't. But I didn't snore. I never snored. So I think I at least could breathe somewhat, but I would maybe have like partially restricted breathing or just general hypoventilation, which I've had that a lot when I was super morbid, especially. So maybe just my belly being so big that it pushed on my lungs and stuff when I would lay down. And so I couldn't breathe as deeply. So I think for me, it was more like I just wasn't quite getting enough oxygen, you know? So yeah. When do you lose to the point of needing a new mattress? When do you lose to the point of needing a new pillow? I think it's important to talk about. And I feel like it's not talked about that much. And I should at some point do like a dedicated video, but I just thought that would be something interesting to share with you guys because I have experiences with that. And it was really nice to be able to handle a firm mattress because then I didn't have to buy one. It saved me money. And I was really lucky that my mom, I guess, flopped and she got a mattress that she couldn't use. So I was lucky. More of the story, downsizing can really help. Okay.
They don't really consider that like sleep apnea at that point.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
it'll
it's
probably
so
get worse.
Interesting.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be like the bearer of bad news, but I didn't have it right away either. But, you know, post 30, definitely. But even approaching 30, I definitely had it. But it was really when I was 20, I noticed it when I was 28 going into 29. I noticed it and it was really bad. And I had to sleep on the tower pillows. It was horrible. But I was able to slowly get rid of them, and now I don't have to. You know how much nicer that is? It was so uncomfortable. Such a relief. The things that people take for granted. That's when when I would talk a lot on my channel, I'd be like, you guys don't realize, like, you always have to deal with it. Like, when you're alone, when you're trying to sleep at night, you have to deal with being super morbid. It's awful. And nobody talks about that. But I did. And I don't have an issue. So not only do I not need to rush to my bed to rest constantly, but I also just sleep. Unless if I'm having like a deficit moment where I just wake up after like 6 hours, you know, like I wake up early because maybe like a low blood sugar moment, or I'm like having some kind of serotonin fluctuation that's keeping me up late or something like that, I don't have an issue sleeping at all. So, just saying.
Of the other data with it. I don't know all of the...
And now my nightmares are really cheesy. They're like not even that big of a deal.
Scientific, medical mambo jumbo of the words. But what was interesting is I just met with them last Friday. And I said, before we get into it, I want to look at 3 nights. One night, 2 of the nights, I slept like I was dead. Mm-hmm. Like, truly, I had the deepest sleep, woke up sweating, woke up with like numb limbs, like truly like I fell asleep and I like, you need to check me for signs of life type of sleep. And that was followed by 1 night of no sleep. I stayed up all night. Yeah. And it's crazy, like, what happens? Yeah. How did I get the best sleep I've ever had for 2 nights and then nothing? And we really dug in deep, and this is what is so validating. I started all of my sleep issues when I started recovery.
Okay.
I did not have, to my knowledge, sleep issues. I was sleeping, I was waking up feeling rested. I was like, bada bing, bada boom. Like, that's what sleep is for. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I just felt so tired all of the time. And I'm like, okay, well, part of that is like the mental labor of recovery, right? Like, sure. I don't think anyone really feels
chipper,
well rested and ready to take on the day when they're, you know, diving into all of this trauma and you know, issues and everything.
So I had terrible insomnia when I was deathly hypo, when I was extremely hypo in 2021 and 2020. Those 2 years were my lowest point health-wise with hypothyroidism. 2020, I had horrible sleep. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I was so insomniatic. And in 2021, it was really hard a lot of nights. But when I started my protocol and I started taking care of my thyroid and stuff, it got better pretty fast. I just couldn't sleep at night, which for people who are like really like, and I mean like I couldn't sleep till like 6:30 in the morning. Like I'm talking like vampire levels. And that happens because people don't think about this, but you need sleep. Like you need energy in order to sleep. And you get energy in the day when the sun is up. And so if your energy is just too low because you're too hypo, you can't sleep at night very well at all. And obviously there can be different shades of that, but that's the relationship between hypo and insomnia, is that you're not producing enough energy to actually sleep at night. So that can lead to you only being able to sleep in the day. And I could only sleep in the day, basically, a lot in 2021. So, but I was able to sleep, but it's just like, I remember too, like in 2022, I couldn't sleep at night at all either. Like I would sleep from like 7 a.m. to like 3:30 p.m. And I think about that now and I'm like, holy crap. Like that's crazy. Because I never sleep like that now. Like I think the latest I sleep in is typically like 9:30 or something. Sometimes I'll sleep later, but I'm up late, still. But I can always sleep. Like, it's usually that I'm up late because I'm busy. It's not that I'm up late just because I can't sleep. I'll put it to you that way. And then I make sure, because I work for myself, I can just sleep in till I'm up. And I try to sleep as much as I can. But it's like to think about the fact that I used to wake up at 3:30 because I was that ill is wild to me. It really is weird. But people don't talk about stuff like that. And, it was really bad. I could not sleep. And so I wonder if, I don't know if she has that issue, but yeah, it's tough. And I've never been an early bird. Like, I'm not really that way. I think my typical circadian rhythm is like probably like 2:30 to 9:30, something like that, maybe, or 9, maybe even a little less. I'll have to see when I'm in maintenance. I feel like when I'm in maintenance, it'll go back to normal. Like it'll be whatever it will be, because sometimes when you're in deficit, you sleep a little bit less too. So it just depends. We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted basically, but she's making me think about all this stuff and it's like, oh, I've come really far, Like, yeah, like I might go to bed late. Like I think I went to bed last night at like 3:30, but I wake up at 9:30 and I'm like totally rested, but I've always kind of been okay with less sleep, except for in extreme circumstances when I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like really tired. And then I slept for 10 hours. I was like, what the hell? That like never happens. But yeah, typically I'm fine with like 6.5 or 6. But 6.5 is probably better. 7 is great. I hardly ever sleep longer than 7. I don't know how people do it, but I don't. When I get to like 5.5 or 5, then I'm like, ooh, like I can still function, but I'm tired. But I don't know. I don't know if that stuff will change. We'll see. I'll keep you posted.
Thanks. So for a while I was like, okay, I think this is just where I'm at now. Well, then I took a sleep study test a while ago and it came back with sleep apnea in the normal range. They said I didn't need to do anything, but my sleep was still been shit for years.
Yeah.
Well, we looked at my heart rate and something in the graph between those 2 nights showed that the night where I couldn't fall asleep, I was basically in fight or flight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
I know. And I said, oh, I was in an active trauma response. And he could like tell based off of like where my heart was laying.
Yeah.
And he's like, and this is basically your sympathetic nervous system compared to the 2 nights where you slept so well. There was a huge difference in like where my resting heart rate was versus like where, and he was like, and basically what's happening is your body is like not getting the signal that it's safe and it can like turn off. And I was like, That is the validation.
Interesting that she went off. Hold on, I want to see her turn it off.
Heart was laying.
Yeah.
And he's like, and this is basically your sympathetic nervous system compared to the 2 nights where you slept so well. There was a huge difference in like where my resting heart rate was versus like where. And he was like, and basically what's happening
That's
is
so
your body
weird.
is like not getting the signal that it's safe and it can like turn off. And I was like, that is the validation I have been looking for. So one of the things that we've actually tried from
weird.
the first month into the second month is like mouth tape
Oh yeah.
and nose tape, and then like a nose, it like goes in your nose and like pushes your nose out. I don't know what it's called, a dilator or something
To
like
open
that.
up your nostrils, basically.
Exactly. Well, I love the little nose stickies. It's crazy. It's the little magnets.
Yeah,
They're like
I've
two
had
little
them.
magnets that go on the sides, and then it's a little magnet thing that like grabs your nose and lifts it. And I swear, I'd just be putting it on when I'm home and walking around the house.
You're like, I want that 100%. Oh, I was gonna say H2O, but no, that's not just the O. I want that 100% oxygen
give me that
straight to the brain.
baby. Listen, it was so soothing.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting all this like big air in my nose. I loved it. So I said to him, I was like, I was really upset. The sleep doctor, I was like, I'm kind of sad that the nose stickies didn't work because I felt it like to be soothing and comforting.
Yeah.
Well, we take that feeling and compare it to what's going on with like the fight or flight and the feeling and the apnea. It all kind of makes sense in this weird puzzle piece, right?
Yeah.
One of the things we do when we're having a panic attack is big breath in, big exhales, right? It's like,
yeah.
She might be having some hypoventilation issues. Might be what it is. I'm just saying, she's trying to make it all about mental, but it's impossible. When you're in the super morbid, it is impossible to separate the physical. It is just absolutely impossible. And it could be physical obstruction. Like I said, a lot of times for me, there were times where it could have been here because I'd get really moony, but then the moon would go away sometimes too. But it was mostly just the huge belly on pushing up on my lungs. It's hard. It's difficult to breathe. And that's why it's called obesity-induced hypoventilation. It's difficult. And then there are also some hormonal aspects too from the fat itself that affect oxygen. It's bad. Again, we do not want to normalize obesity. But when it's super morbid, like when you're in super morbidity, it is really tough because those things, they are at such a higher level of magnitude. And I still had some obesity related hypoventilation when I was just class 1. But I don't think I have it anymore. I can't remember when I have. But that's the thing about getting better too, is you forget. So sometimes, like, I appreciate watching them because I feel like they're reminding me of things that I've forgotten. Issues I used to have that I don't. I used to have the worst hypoventilation sitting in my car because of the way that my belly was and the seatbelt and everything. Like, I'd be like I'd have to have the seat really far back and I'd just be like, I have to like force myself to breathe like that, like make a huge effort because you take it for granted, but most of the time you breathe passively. But when your belly's in the way, you can't. And you start to like run low on oxygen. And that happened to me when I was just awake. It's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. It feels out of control. It was just awful. It was so awful. And I remember one time I was on the phone with Lisa in 2024 in January, and she was scared. I scared her because I was having an episode so bad in my car. And I think it was due to like a low blood sugar moment. So I had to get these like crackers that I eat, but it freaked her out. And I was having a lot of hormone shifts and stuff as I was getting out of super morbid. And I was obviously very hypo. It was the dead of winter. It's tough. So I wonder if her issues get worse in the winter. I'd be interested to know that. But yeah, like that, I'll never forget that day on the phone with Lisa. She was freaked out because I literally was like, I can't breathe. Like, I feel like I can't breathe. And luckily, I think it was tied to blood sugar issues because I had those crackers, and then I was okay. I got out of it. But it's tough. It's not a joke. It just isn't. Okay, you guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. We'll continue this. We'll keep going. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.